ranking the members of the Yakuza 9, or the 9 Scabbards. So, at number 10, I have Kanjuro, the one that betrayed them. He calls to Korazumi Orochi. He has the paint fruit, I believe. He uses a paintbrush to create these, different beasts, different things that he can use in battle. Mostly animals though. So he can fly around. He took Momonosuke and gave him to Kaido so that Kaido could kill him. And then they were like, oh fuck, where's Momonosuke? You betrayed us, you little bitch, And where are you keeping him at? And he's like, you have to defeat me. Okiku had to fight him. And, Kanjuro was playing games with her. It's like, you couldn't kill me, Okiku. We've been through so much together. You wouldn't do that to me. She was like, actually he didn't cost shit like that. She was like, oh, well, you're right, but why would you ever? And then Kinemon was like, no, bitch, you have to cut this bitch down. He's already betrayed us. He's not who you thought he was. That's why I got her at number 9. Okiku. Okiku's a tall bitch who was one of Odin's retainers back in the day. One of the Yakuza 9 Scabbards. She wields a sword and she was able to cut down Kanjuro. She went up to the rooftop to fight against Kaido with the other 7 or 8 really. But when she got up there, she lost an arm. She was getting her licks in on Kaido, trying to. She is pretty damn good with the sword, but not that good. She's probably middle tier, middle rung. But she got her arm, shot off. Boom. Kinemon was like, Okiku, and then he got over there and grabbed her before something else happened to her. Then they got out of there, but she's one of the weaker members of the Yakuza 9 or the 9 Scabbards. At number 8, I have Raizo of the Ninja. See, Raizo of the Ninja, or Raizo of the Mist as he's called, he was in Zou, and he was protecting, or he was chained to the road poneglyph. So he didn't go up to help them out when the Kaido pirates came, because they knew that they would come for Raizo, and then they were like, nope, Raizo's not here. We don't know of a man named Raizo, but he was actually on Zou, but he was with the red poneglyph. Then they found him. Then they were like, okay, we'll meet in the land of Wano, and then we'll, bolster our forces, and then we'll go after Kaido's head. And that's what they tried to do, or that is what they tried to do. This guy has ninja scrolls, that have different elements of water, fire, lightning, wind. He got in a fight with, I'm trying to remember this guy's name. I'm power scale one day. But he had big ass earlobes, and he was a ninja, too. He used ninpo, ninja techniques, ninja scroll arts, jutsu. These two were in a stalemate for a fucking long time. But Raizo ended up winning the exchange. And I got him at number 8, right? But at number 7, I got Iso. Iso was a white-beard pirate and a gunman. He's a marksman. He's a sharpshooter. Boom, boom. Iso, the sharpshooter, he came back with Cat Viper. Cat Viper went to go get allies, to fight against Kaido, and he was one of them. Him and Marco from the Whitebeard Pirates, or the Remnants. He said, you guys are going to help us, take down Kaido and restore Wano to what it used to be. And he's like, yes, I remember Odin, and he was a great guy. Of course I'll fight. But he ended up dying too. Not to Kaido. No, he survived that battle. He ended up dying to, some other shit. I forgot. But, he died. Then I got at number 6, I got Foxfire Kinemon. Mr. Foxfire Kinemon himself, who's been with Luffy since the beginning of their journey to the, new world. Punk Hazard, they found him. He was there, he was like, me and my son, have to get back to Wano. Then he, was, in Dressrosa stopping the birdcage, using armament hockey, two-sword style. He has the garb fruit. He can put people in different clothes. So they get to, Zoe, and then he reveals Momonosuke's loyal retainer. Because he serves Kazuki Odin, and the Kazuki clan is, what he served. But he was like Odin's first, loyal retainer. So it like really hit him hard when Odin died. So he was definitely gonna get revenge on Kaido for what he did. So that's what he did. He went and he, recruited some, the rest of the Akazai 9, got them together. Even though Kanjuro, betrayed them, he's like, Okiku, cut him down. She cut him down, and then they went after Kaido's head. Unfortunately, all he could do was reopen Kaido's wounds, and it was Kinemon who did that with the two-sword style. Then Kaido just went to town on them, defeated them. But he lived to see, another day, and also he was right beside Momonosuke when he became a man in the Shogun of Wano. But he's only number 6, because at number 5, I got Kawamatsu the Kappa. See, Kawamatsu the Kappa didn't go back, or not back, he didn't go forward in time. He stayed with Hiyori, the daughter of Kazuki Odin. And he tried to protect her the best he could. Then he got captured and sent to Udon, where he remained until Luffy got there. And then Raizo came and was like, yo, we're getting people together. That's you, Kawamatsu, chained up in, Udon prison because, they were afraid of his power. And him, starting rebellion too. And he had been waiting for, like, the day for them to come back. And he was glad to see everybody come back. He had the swords in Ringo, and they're like, we have swords in Ringo that we can use to like bolster our forces and shit. They're there and shit. The armory, the arsenal that we need to take these bitches down. I almost forgot about Kawamatsu, but Kawamatsu is number 5. Using two-sword style, Kappa style on Kaido. Barely doing anything though because it's Kaido. We know about that as One Piece fans. But at number 4, I have Dogstorm. Dogstorm fought against Jack the Drought, right? To, lose. At home, at Zoe, in front of all of his people, having them worry about him, who he's the leader of the day. He's the, ruler of the day there. And they were like, he had to, heal up. He had to get us, he got his leg chopped off. But he went to Wano, and when he went to Wano, he was like, okay, Jack, we're gonna get our get back. And he did. Boom, boom, boom. They bit him and they fucked him up in Sulong form. And he was like, fell over. But then they weren't done because Kaido, ended up defeating them all. But then he recouped himself a little bit, and then he fought against Jack again in his base form. Still defeated Jack, though, proving that he's, not a fucking weak animal. But at number 3, I have Dogstorm. Dogstorm was also on Zoe that day when Jack came, and he lost his hand. He had to get a gun put there. He had a gun put there. And then he went to go get, bolster the forces for the alliance against Kaido. So he recruited Marco, the Phoenix, and Iso, one of the other 9 Scabbards. And he was like, hey, we're going in. It's time. You know, he fought against Jack the Drought up top on the rooftop, giving him, some scars to remember him by. Then Kaido defeated him, but then he went and he had to go save Wanda and Carrot from Perospero, and he cut him down and defeated him. And that's Cat Viper at number 3. But at number 2, I have Ashura Doji. Ashura Doji is at number 2 because back in the day he fought against Kozuki Oden, and he was actually fighting against him. He was a vagrant of Curry, and he was like, yo, stop being a vagrant like this. You could use your powers towards good. I could bring this place, back from the brink, and we can, do something here. I am the son of the Shogun, says Odin, and Odin's like, fighting against him, and then he's like, you know what? You're a powerful guy. I think I can serve under you. And then Ashura Doji did that. Ashura Doji was, loyal to Odin, but then, when Odin died, he was like, upset. He did try to lead. He did try to lead a rebellion against him, but the people weren't powerful enough. A lot of people ended up dying, and then he kind of lost his resolve to fight anymore. But they ended up finding him. And, Kinemon was like, it's time now, Ashura Doji. I know you had to wait for us, but we're here now, and we're here to get our get back on Kaido and Orochi. And he was like, this won't be easy, but I think now that we're together again, we can actually maybe make things happen. Unfortunately, they went to the rooftop, and of course, like I always say, Kaido's Kaido, so they ended up losing. But then Ashura Doji, he died defending the other 9 Scabbards. He put his body in front of the bomb, and he, took all of that. Boom! He died because of an explosion. Defending his, guys. But at number 1 is Denjiro. Denjiro had it pretty fucking bad too. So Denjiro was one of Kozuki Oden's first retainers alongside Kinemon, Foxfire Kinemon. That day, he changed and he went to serve Kurozuma Orochi after Oden died. But he didn't do it because he betrayed Oden, no. See, he was the opposite of Kanjuro. They thought he was a traitor, but really he wasn't. He was doing it to get information. He was doing it to get close to Kurozumi Orochi. So he knew everything that was going to happen that day. And he could help his friends out. And then he switched back to the good side and he went to fight Kaido. This guy knows real hockey, and he's pretty damn good with it too. He had to spend 20 years under Kurozumi Orochi, wanting to kill him but never killing him. Learning about, his relationship with Kaido and what was actually going on in their plans moving forward. When he found out that Kinemon was there, he was like, Kinemon, I'm here and I'm with you guys. Kanjuro's a bitch, but, I stayed loyal to Kozuki Oden. I never forgot what happened. Then he saved Hiyori from Kurozumi Orochi, defeating him. After years of serving that bitch, he defeated him. And he is the most powerful of the 9 Scabbards. That is me ranking the 9 Scabbards for you. So be cool, Corn on the Corner.